So greetings to all of you who are online, and hopefully you were able to do the prayer with us of the four directions. So our theme today, as we had written out, was remembering our way forward. And in 2018, when Faithful Fools, we were celebrating our 20th anniversary at that time. That was the theme of our celebration. And it was a grand moment of remembering the stories, remembering these various moments, remembering people that really brought us through those 20 years. And we had a grand celebration at the UU Church in San Francisco. And then when we were thinking about this service, the same theme came to me, remembering our way forward. And so as Sam and I spoke about that, this time it had a different tone. And I think why it came to us this time around was that I know personally needing to remember that which steadies me, guides me, steadies us, guides us in these times that feel like we're all being kind of unsteadied by what is going on. And it wasn't a kind of remembering for nostalgia as much as a remembering for strength. And I also remember Bernie Glassman, who I'll read from shortly, but Bernie Glassman talked about the word remembering, where it was like remember, to bring those things together that have helped create us, have helped formed us, have helped strengthened us. And Iggy and Ruby, thank you for sharing and remembering your street retreat, because I think it's moments in our lives, sometimes a word from somebody, sometimes an experience, that is what grounds me, grounds us at sometimes confusing moments. And street retreats were the foundation. Kay and I called it our opening act as Faithful Fools, that very often we're invited into doing something of service, going in to help people who we see as less fortunate than ourselves, or going into neighborhoods like the Tenderloin that are the more impoverished areas of, in this case, San Francisco, but each city has those areas that have greater poverty and struggles. But we often don't think or pay attention to, what do I bring with me into that relationship? That what are the narratives I have in my mind? What are the assumptions? What are the stories I have heard? What are the projections I share into these communities? What are the fears? Or what are the personal experiences that I bring? That we all know, as we say in our mission statement, we're all human. And there's something when we come into doing a street retreat that we say we discover on the streets our common humanity. And I know, as one who grew up in Minnesota in a German-Hungarian family, that we were silent around a lot of our struggles. That if we didn't talk about them, if we tried to keep them hidden, they didn't exist. Where one of the things I appreciate for myself in the Tenderloin is our humanity is there. There's nothing to hide. We're there with each other, and the struggle is evident, and the resilience is evident. So this morning, what we'd like to do is to remember our way forward, not only as Faithful Fools, but you as a congregation, for all of us as human beings in this time, in whatever it is we're carrying in our lives, to recall and bring more present. What is it? Who is it? Where is it that steadies me, that strengthens us, that guides us in our pathway forward? So Sam and I have prepared a few of our favorites, and we also have up here on the table, we cut out some little footprints. And if you're online, if you have a piece of paper or want to cut out your own little footprints or pull books near you to do that, to join in with us this morning, to create a pathway forward. So we were thinking we can play with it if we lay it on the ground, or just to hold it with you. You can take footprints home to remind you to just say, as Sam and I are sharing here, to just see who comes to you, what comes to you. If you aren't able to come up and get a footprint and a marker, if somebody wants to bring it to you, just ask a neighbor to bring it over to you. So we read the mission statement, so that will be one that we offer. But the first one that I would like to read to you, that this book, Bearing Witness, it's been foundational for us as Faithful Fools. Kay and I taught for a number of years at Star King a course called Bearing Witness, The Crossroads of Community and Parish. So this was one of the books that we used. I love just the name, because one of the things that for all of us is we bear with us what we witness in our world, what we witness in our lives, what we witness with the ones that we love. And there's a page that we often read when sending people out on street retreats. And this is, so I share this with you. So you may, as I'm reading, maybe there are authors or wise voices that you will remember. So I offer this to you. Bernie says, I quoted the famous prayer, Shema Israel. Listen, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. The Buddhist service that we perform on the streets of New York City's Bowery begins, attention, attention. When we say attention, what do we mean? When we really listen, when we really pay attention to the sounds of joy and suffering in the universe, then we are not separate from them. We become them. Because in reality, we are not separate from those who suffer. We are them, they are us. It is our suffering, and it is our joy. When we don't listen, we are shutting ourselves off, not from others, but from ourselves. And once we listen, we have to act. The function that comes out of listening, out of attention, is compassionate action. If we don't listen, we can't act with compassion. So I'm actually going to create a little walkway. So I'm going to lay this down as one of the first stones on our pathway. And just to get us started, I brought two more. I, being at Franciscan, have the peace prayer that's attributed to St. Francis, which is, Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. And then I also I just took this outside our window the other day of a person laying on the sidewalk from our window, of just saying that my passion is that all of us have what it is that we need. So they're going to become part of my pathway. And Sam, I take.
So Carmen is suggesting that somehow we have a path, and often when we think we have a path, we know where we're going. And I don't know about you, but most days I have no clue where I'm going. So I find this poem by Antonio Machado, who was a 19th century Spanish poet, very comforting. And he says, "Traveler, your footprints are the only road, nothing else. Traveler, there is no road. You make your own path as you walk. As you walk, you make your own road, and when you look back, then you will see the path. You will never travel again. Traveler, there is no road, only the path you have already walked."
So again, feel free to also come forth and get a footprint as we're doing this. And after, if you don't want to move while we're speaking, we can do this afterwards. So I could have brought our whole library, really, because they're all people and words and wise ones. But I just brought, Hafiz. Do you want to lay that on the ground there?
And I was just going to offer, if anybody raises their hand, I'm happy to.
Okay. Howard Thurman, for those who know Howard Thurman's work. The other one that Kay and I, in founding Faithful Fools, we never read or used an organizational development book. What we used was art spirit, that we're always creating our way forward. So when we had a problem or something, we would roulette our book, Art Spirit. So I brought them. But also something all of us, or most of us in this room, hold in common are the principles and purposes of Unitarian Universalism. When Kay and I came together, Kay as a UU social justice minister in San Francisco, me as a Franciscan, so our little joke was, when you bring a UU and a Franciscan together, you get a fool. But they guide us. They guide us. They guide me. That we can read them, and I think that's one of the things that's really strong to Faithful Fools, that we not be satisfied with only reading our wonderful poetry and our words, but that we're finding out how to live them so that they're relevant in this time, in this place, in this moment of what do they look like in certain situations. So I'm going to lay down here on our pathway, whatever direction it's going, the principles and purposes that, which include the eighth principle also, of journeying towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community by our actions that accountably dismantle racism and other oppressions in ourselves and our institutions. So, Sam,
My turn next.
your turn.
So Carmen was speaking about Kay, who was co-founder with Carmen, and Kay had a remarkable memory and often taught us poetry. And one of the poems that she taught us came from Ezra Pound, and it's a bit of a conundrum, but I will offer it to you and see what you make of it. And the days are not full enough, and the nights are not full enough, and life passes by like a field mouse not shaking the grass. We recited that almost every morning at breakfast. And because this is about things that are not too full, I also have Rumi. How many of you are familiar with Rumi? Ah, good, our old friend. This may sound familiar to you then. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right-doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make sense. Oh, I see our